Hello friends, welcome to Geeky Rapid. So after installing the Jmeter and learning about the different actions that you can take upon the elements in the Jmeter, today we will be seeing how to record our first demo script. So in order to do that, let us start our Jmeter. So for doing that, just go to the bin folder and click on the Jmeter bat file, and it will open up your Jmeter console. So our first step is launching the Jmeter. Yeah, so once our Jmeter is launched, you will be seeing two sides. So there is the left hand side as well as the right hand side. So the left hand side will contain the element of the test plan, and the right side will have the configuration of all the elements. So here you can see the test plan is on the left hand side, as well as the configuration which you can do for a test plan. You can do it on the right hand side window. So let us learn about test plan. A test plan is a container that will contain all the elements required for performing the test. It can be a request, result, graph, or any other element. So we will do one thing. We will just try to customize our test plan, and we will rename it. So for renaming, just go here and give any name. So I will be giving my test plan. Yeah. So I've renamed it, and the very first step will be to add thread groups. So what is thread group, we'll see. So we can add the thread group by right clicking on it, and you can see that my whatever name you have changed here, once you click on it, the name will be reflected here also. So just right click here and go to add threads and add a thread group. So thread group has been successfully added. So now the thread group is nothing but the users that are used to create or run the test, and we'll also rename this thread group as users for better understanding purposes. And you can see the user's name is reflected here also. So on the right hand side, there are different configuration that you can do for the users, that like what actions to be taken after a sampler error occurs, whether to continue, whether to stop the thread, whether to stop the test, and these kinds of so it will be depending upon your selection of option. And there are three main properties that you can set for users, that are the number of threads. That means how many users you need for your performance testing, you can specify here. The ramp up period and the loop count. So the ramp up period is nothing but like suppose we have given for 10 users, we have given the ramp up time as 20 seconds. So 20 divided by 10, that is 2 seconds. So after every 2 seconds, a user will be added and it will be hitting the server. So that is the ramp up time. And the loop count, so you, if you are entering 10 users and you need to run it for one iteration, then you need to specify the iteration count here. So now it is 1, so the iteration will run for one time once. So if you specify 2 or 5 here, the users will run for 5 iterations. And if you click on loop count as forever, then they will be keep on running. So for now we'll keep all as it is. And now we'll be adding the type of request. So there are different types of request. So you can see there are a number of requests that Jmeter is allowing you to add. So you can do performance testing by adding any kind of request. But for now, we will be taking the very basic one, that is an HTTP request. So you can see the HTTP request has been added here. So we'll be renaming the HTTP request as my home page. So this is just for better understanding, and it is okay if you don't rename it also. And here we need to specify the server name and the path. So for that, we'll be going to Google. So now suppose if you want to do the performance testing for a particular page, and so suppose this is the website. So just copy this URL and go and enter it in the server name. So once you enter it in the server name, you don't have to specify this HTTP because it is already identified as an HTTP request. So you can remove this and also remove this slash. Now suppose if you want to test for the particular page inside the website, so just go to that page and copy the remaining path and just specify it in the path option. So if there is any port number, you can specify it here, and in this way our HTTP request has been created. So now once your HTTP request has been created, and if you run this, you will be seeing the results. But in case if you want to view the result, where you will be viewing it? So this is a question that needs to be answered, and for this you have to add listeners. So listeners can be added under users, that is your HTTP request, or it can be added directly under the my test plan. So if you add directly under the my test plan, so it will be applicable, the listeners will be applicable, and the results will be seen for all the type of requests under this test plan. So it will be not only for users. If there is any other kind of request under my test plan, you can also see their results as they are directly added under my test plan. So for now, we are adding it under users. So just right click and go to listener. So there are different type of listener that you can add, and for now we will be adding view results in tables and view results in tree. So these are two types of listener which we'll be adding. Yeah. Okay, just 1 minute. We need to add both of them under users. Yeah, so now they are added. So now our request is being created and we are ready to start. So now we'll be running the test. So for running the test, there are various options. You can right click and just say run. You can click on start and it will start the HTTP request, or you can go and click on this green button, or there are different option to run. There is also an option from the run. You can go and press on start, or you can press control plus R on from your keyboard. So in that case, in every case, the test will be started. So for now, we will be going and clicking on this button. So it will ask you to save this plan before running it, but for now we are skipping it. But ideally we should save it. So now you can see that the request was sent and the test was ran, but we couldn't see it. So these are the results which we can see in the listeners. So we can see that the request has been successful, as the status here is green. The sample time taken for the request to complete is 1594 milliseconds, and the label for that request is my homepage. So there is a something called latency. Latency is nothing but the time for first bit, that is 730 milliseconds. So it is the time when our response got the first byte. So that is the time, and the connect time was 316 milliseconds, which is very good. So similarly, you can see we'll be getting the 200 response code in view results. So if you click on my home page, you can see the response code returned is 200 and the response message is okay. And you can also see the request in here as well as the response data you got from for the above request. So now we'll be doing one thing. Um, as we were not able to see how the test was completed, we'll be increasing the number of users to 10, and we'll be increasing the ramp up time to 20, so that after every 2 seconds a user is added. And for seeing the results in real time, we'll be keeping the loop count as forever. So once we start running this test, you will be seeing that this icon will turn green and the number of users will be increased here. So let's go and start. So you can see it has turned green and the number of user after every 2 seconds is being added here. So if you go to the view results in table, you can see after every 2 seconds the particular user is added and it is hitting the server. So all the sample time and latency and connect time as well as the status is recorded for every user. Similarly in tree, you can see after every 2 seconds a particular user is hitting the server, and for all of them the sample sampler is returning 200 as the code, which is the response code is 200, which is termed as OK. So now as we have kept the loop count as forever, it will be keep on running this users. So to stop this, there are two options. This is the one, stop, and this is the shutdown. So there is a major difference between stop and shutdown. So stop, if you click on stop, it will immediately stop the test, and if you click on shutdown, it will smoothly stop the test. So it will wait till all the threads are stopped one by one. So for now we'll be clicking on shutdown, and you will be seeing that it is shutting down all this test thread. Yeah, so now the test has been stopped, and you can see the results in table as well as in tree format. So you can see all of them are successful, and the connect time is very good for this test. So you can see the latency, connect time, bytes, send bytes, everything, sample time for a particular user. So there is a one thing here. So user 1 1. So this is something that we will be discussing our next session. So the thread name, if you can see here, they are a bit different. So why it is different, we will be seeing in our upcoming sessions. So for today, uh, we had created our first demo script, and for this we had followed some steps. So let's revisit those. So the step one was to start the Jmeter. The step two was to create a test plan. Step three was to add a thread group. And step four was to add a sampler or add a request. In our case, it was a HTTP request. The step five was to add the listeners. So we had added two listeners that were view results in table and view results in tree. And the last step was to run the test. So in this way, we have successfully created our first demo script, and we will be seeing about the different elements and configuration you can do with the elements in our upcoming session of Jmeter. And that's all for today. Thanks for watching, and do let us know if you like this video. So thanks for day.